welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Checking out the brand new Epiphone Yungblud SG Junior. This is the only SG Junior that you can get in production from Epiphone or Gibson. Wild. It looks awesome. It's $5.99. I'll tell you everything you need to know about this guitar. We'll put it on the bench and pull it apart, and then of course we're going to plug it in and play it. At the top, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, do us a huge favor. Click to buy new gear using our link. You'll find it in the comments or down in the description. When you buy new gear using our link, you get easy payment plans, fast free shipping, and you help us make these demos, so thank you for doing that. We're also giving away an American-made Martin acoustic guitar when we hit 100,000 subscribers. To win that guitar, just make sure you're subscribed, hit it now if you haven't, and sign up via Gleam. That's also down below. All right, let's take a look at the Yungblud SG Junior. It looks fantastic. We'll see how it sounds. Let's get to work. The Yungblud bumper sticker comes with the kit. All right, I'll tell you what, at $5.99, this is a pretty good deal. With the hard shell case, you got this kind of polar white, beautiful SG Junior. And like I mentioned, Gibson is not currently making an SG Junior. It got discontinued. The only one you can get from Gibson is Gibson Custom. And that'll set you back almost $4,000. So if you want an SG Junior from Epiphone for under 600 bucks, including a hard shell case, this is a no-nonsense, single dog ear P90 rock and roll machine, and it looks fantastic. So whether you're a fan of Yungblud or you're a fan of SG Juniors, I am a huge fan of SG Juniors. I think they really just nailed this one. You get these vintage Kluson style Epiphone Deluxe tuners. And check this out, this is an Indian Laurel board, but this fooled me when I looked at it. I said, did they put rosewood on this guitar? Because it is a nice dark piece of Indian Laurel. It feels like rosewood, it looks like rosewood. I think it completes the look, it looks fantastic. And then you got that typical SG shape, thinner mahogany body. SGs just really sing, so I can't wait to plug this one in. Let's hit the bench and get some measurements before we do that. So they include the Yungblud bumper sticker, and apart from that, there's nothing else on this guitar that says Yungblud or implies a Yungblud connection. So I will tell you, you can look at this because you're a fan of Yungblud, great. Or you can look at this as because you're a fan of an SG Junior. And what this guitar really reminds me of, it's the SG counterpart to the Billy Joe Armstrong Les Paul Junior. That also comes with a hard shell case. That's at $549. That's a screaming good guitar and a great deal. This is similar price, just SG Junior instead of Les Paul Junior. But everything else, it's really got kind of the same vibe, down to the classic white color, the dog ear P90 pickup. Let's just start at the top of the headstock and we'll run it all down. We got the gold script Epiphone on a black gloss headstock, white, classic white, gloss finish and poly across the whole guitar. You got these Epiphone Deluxe vintage style Kluson style tuners, which look fantastic. You've got the slimmer neck. I wouldn't say it's the slimmest neck I've felt, so maybe a medium. We'll get a measurement in a second. Indian Laurel board, like I said, looks fantastic. Single P90 volume tone, really no nonsense, stripped down. And I always think these guitars, SG Juniors, Les Paul Juniors, just pack such a rockin' punch. Definitely worth owning. Let's get the strings out of the way and we'll get some measurements. Nuts at 1.69 inches. First fret at 0.84 inches. Up to a 12th of 0.92 inches. Mahogany body with those Florentine SG cutaways, the devil horns, slightly off-centered, which I actually didn't know until relatively recently. That always missed me. 1.48 inches thick. You got this wraparound lightning style tailpiece here. We'll move that out of the way and take a look under the hood of this P90. P90s are old school single coil pickups developed by Gibson, and this is as easy and straightforward as it gets. It's just literally screwed straight to the body. So it's not height adjustable, it's got a plastic cover on it, and then you can just lift up the single P90 pickup itself, and you got a P90 Pro from Epiphone here. This will be an easy one. Let's flip on the multimeter. We're at 8.6 on the single P90. Lifting up the control cavity cover, we've got two 500K CTS pots, all hand wired. Really is the Play and Trade color logos here. Let's get a weight. 6 pounds, 6 ounces. Can't argue with that. We'll call it 6.5 pounds. Nice and lightweight. One of the hallmarks of an SG, and one of the things I love about them. And I already strummed this a little bit earlier, and I noticed just a big sound unplugged. Definitely I would describe the neck profile as medium. It's not the slimmest 60s style SG neck. It's definitely a healthy medium, kind of like an SG standard on a Gibson. Feels fantastic in the hands. Beautifully executed guitar. Remember, if you're in the market for this or any other gear, when you click to buy new gear using our link, you help us make these videos, so thank you. This is my favorite part. Let's get plugged in. I'll show you clean tones, we'll dirty it up, and then I'll let it sing behind a track. On the other side, I'll give you a final score and my raw reaction, so stay tuned. And drop a comment as we go. I'm excited about this one. Really simple rock machine. Let's plug in and see how it sounds. All right, what'd you think? The Yungblud SG Junior at $599 represents a great value, I think. I'll tell you my thoughts and my final score since you stuck with me. I based my final score on 3 categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. When it comes to playability, this guitar is a great weight, very well balanced, and I'll tell you the neck shape is going to be something that probably pushes you towards or away. And what I mean by that is it's definitely a healthy medium. It's slightly thicker than like a slim taper neck, and it feels a little bit wider. I noticed that especially as I get in the upper register, the neck feels a little bit noticeably wide. It doesn't bother me, but if you want a slimmer neck, there's probably better options. Typically speaking, when you think like Les Paul Junior or SG Junior, you're thinking a little bit kind of medium or thicker neck. It's certainly not a baseball bat. It's not too thick, but it's medium, so just be aware of that. It didn't really get in my way. In fact, it gave me a great base or foundation from which to really spring from and dig in on those bends and get this thing rocking, and I had a lot of fun playing it. From an overall playability standpoint, The wider neck and the slightly thicker medium neck did not bother me personally. I just want to make you aware of it. I'll go ahead and give it an 8.8 on overall playability. When it comes to overall sound, there's not much to argue with. One, Epiphone Pro Dog Ear P90 sounds fantastic. It does exactly what it should do. It's got the upgraded CTS quality pots in here, volume, tone, no other nonsense. And it's hard to argue with this guitar. It sounds fantastic unplugged. It sounds even better plugged in. I'm gonna give a high score to this guitar because it's really no nonsense, straightforward P90 snarl and voice that you really must own. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.3 on overall sound. Very impressed by the sound of this guitar, especially for the money, holy cow. Then when it comes to value, look, at $599, it's in the same price range as like the Billy Joe Armstrong Les Paul Junior. So if you'd rather get the Les Paul Junior over the SG Junior, that would be the route to go. Plus you get that cheetah case, which is awesome. This one comes in at $599, 50 bucks more, but it's the SG Junior. It's gonna be better for you if you prefer the SG shape, that thinner mahogany body. And I'll tell you what, it really delivered on value. It came from the factory, beautifully dressed. It looks fantastic. It got looks to kill here. It's even got that bumper sticker. It's got that nice hard shell case with the pink lining. What's to argue with at $599? How can you go wrong? I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.3 on overall value. That's gonna bring us to an overall score for the Yungblud SG Junior for fans of Yungblud and for fans of the SG in general. Final score of 9.1 for the Yungblud SG Junior. If you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, click to buy new gear using our link. It really helps us make these demos. And you don't have to buy the guitar I'm demoing. If I sell you on a different guitar, go buy that one, but use our link, because when you shop around and buy using our link, we get credit, we get to make more demos, you get more information and honest reviews, and we're gonna keep bringing those to you. So thanks for watching. I'm John for Play and Trade Guitars. That's Zach behind the camera. Hit subscribe if you haven't. We're giving away that American-made acoustic guitar when we hit 100,000 subscribers. See you on the next demo. See you next time.